Tonight, we'll provide updates on the manhunt for the gunman who killed the CEO of United Healthcare, sit down with a young girl from Ohio who survived a near-death accident, and give you all the latest on the holiday season. All this along with entertainment and sports coming up on your Northerner World Report. Welcome to this December 5th Northerner World Report. I'm your host, Emily Sisk. A manhunt is underway for the gunman who killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Thompson was shot and killed on a Manhattan sidewalk on Wednesday morning. Police are calling it a brazen, targeted attack. Sherelle Hubbard has more details.
City Wednesday morning. This disturbing video shows the 50-year-old executive at the front of a Midtown Manhattan hotel on his way to the company's annual investor conference when a gunman walks up from behind and fires several fatal rounds.
Every indication is that this was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack.
The New York Police Department has been working to piece together who the gunman is and why they targeted Thompson. They've released these photos of the suspect. They say the images show him at a nearby Starbucks just before the shooting. This all happened just blocks away from Rockefeller Center, where droves of people are expected to attend the Christmas tree lighting set for Wednesday.
This is a terrible event, but we're going to go on and people are going to enjoy the tree lighting tonight.
Police are working to reassure people that the city is still safe and the lighting will go on as planned. Detectives are reviewing area video and digging into a cell phone recovered near the scene as they search for a motive. The shooter ran from the scene, then grabbed an electric bike, heading into Central Park.
NYPD is being as thorough as they possibly can. They want to collect every piece of evidence. In a planned, a targeted event, there's a lot of evidence of planning ahead of time. They want to collect that.
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The police determined this was a planned attack because they say the suspect was waiting for the victim. He also used a silencer on the murder weapon, and he took care to have his face mostly covered. Police are hopeful that the cell phone or e-bike will give them more clues. Google is introducing a new artificial intelligence tool that it says has the most accurate 15-day weather forecasts. GenCast was made by DeepMind, a London-based Google company that develops AI applications. In the journal Nature, DeepMind reports it tested the program against the European Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecast, considered the world leader in weather predictions. GenCast was trained on 4 decades of weather data. Then they compared the 15-day forecasts of both systems for predicting 2019's weather. DeepMind says GenCast forecasts were more accurate than the center's more than 97% of the time. DeepMind also points out GenCast's 15-day forecast can be generated in minutes, while it takes a supercomputer hours to do the same. Faster and better forecasts could save lives from severe weather. DeepMind says it will share the new AI agent and its computer code online for the weather forecasting community to test it out. And 2 kindergarten students are in extremely critical condition after a school shooting in California on Wednesday. That's according to the Bayou County Sheriff. He says the school's religious affiliation might have motivated the violence, as Amy Kiley reports.
I looked back and I saw a shadow with a gun, so I told most people to run even faster.
Officials say 2 kindergartners were shot at a school in Northern California yesterday. They identify the victims as boys ages 5 and 6.
You heard some gunshots? I did. I also saw the shooter go across a window, like pacing back and forth, and then we were running to the gym.
The Feather River Adventist School is in Oroville, about 70 miles north of Sacramento. The Butte County Sheriff says 911 calls involving it came in around 1 in the afternoon. He says first responders found the victims wounded and an adult male suspect dead with what appears to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
We have received some information that leads us to believe that the subject responsible for this shooting targeted this school because of its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
The sheriff says the suspect had an enrollment meeting with the principal before the shooting began. He says law enforcement found a handgun near the man's body.
At this point, we do not believe that there was any connection between the shooter and the victims of this crime.
The school website says it had about 30 students total as of 2022.
No father, no mother should have to endure what happened today.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
The sheriff says it's unclear at this time whether the shooting was a hate crime. And scientists are marveling over the world's oldest known wild bird and her brand new egg. A 74-year-old albatross named Wisdom was spotted at an island sanctuary in Hawaii with a new egg and a new partner. It's Wisdom's first known egg in 4 years. A wildlife biologist said the achievement sparked special joy for his team. They're optimistic the egg will hatch and that Wisdom is fit enough to raise another chick. Biologists are fascinated by her extremely long lifespan and ability to still reproduce. The typical lifespan for an albatross is between 12 and 40 years. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services estimates Wisdom has mothered as many as 30 chicks in her lifetime. And now let's take it over to Jillian to hear about what's coming up in entertainment.
Thanks, Emily. Coming up on your entertainment break, I'll give you updates on the newest Disney princess movie and the end of the year for SNL. All this and more when we come back on the Northerner World Report.
I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to the Northerner World Report. I'm Jillian Coles. Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? We're about to find out as Disney just released the official trailer for the upcoming film Snow White. Rachel Zegler stars as the beloved princess while Gal Gadot plays her stepmother and the evil queen. The live-action film is a remake of the iconic 1937 animated classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The film follows Snow White, who was forced to flee into the woods to escape the evil queen. Snow White hits theaters on March 21st of next year. Some famous Saturday Night Live alum will be returning to Studio 8H to close out the year. Comedian Chris Rock is set to host the sketch comedy show on December 14th. He was a cast member between 1990 and 1993. Rock, who hosted 3 times before, will be joined by musical guest Gracie Abrams for her SNL debut. The following week, on December 21st, Martin Short is set to host for his 6th time. He had a 1-year stint as a cast member between 1984 and 1985. Short will be joined by returning musical guest Hozier. Justin Timberlake canceled his show scheduled for Monday in Oklahoma City due to a back injury. On Saturday, the singer wrote on Instagram he hurt his back in New Orleans and doctors advised him to rest a bit longer. His New Orleans show was last week. Timberlake has canceled multiple shows on his Forget Tomorrow World Tour in recent months. In October, he canceled a date in Newark, New Jersey, telling fans he was hurt and couldn't perform. The show was rescheduled for a week later. Timberlake also postponed 6 concerts originally set for October and November due to a separate health issue. At the time, he explained he had bronchitis and laryngitis. See whether this sounds familiar. A romance between a pretty blonde and a member of the Kansas City Chiefs. No, it's not Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. It's the latest Hallmark Christmas movie. David Daniel talked with the stars about the film that brings new meaning to fantasy football.
Derek Taylor, Kansas City Chiefs.
Holy cow! We are finalists for the Fan of the Year award.
Tyler Hines and Hunter King meet cute over football fandom in Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story.
Put some flour on Alana's cheek, and then Derek will have to remove it gently. It's in all the Christmas movies.
Of course, her relatives have to mix in, even if guest star Donna Kelce, Travis's mom, disapproves. King found the family pressure familiar.
All it took was me telling one person, was my mom or one of my sisters, and all of a sudden it spread like wildfire. Everyone in the family knew. I'm getting calls, how was the date? Did you go out again? I'm like, how do you know? You're my second cousin. Oh no, it's all the talk of the town.
We can all see there's something between you and Derek. Why do you keep fighting it?
Both romance and football involve competition.
You do have to choose a side, but at the same time, you're just happy that everyone does well.
And the great thing about the competition in this movie is that it's everybody's a fan. We're just seeing who's the biggest fan.
Right.
You know, there's no negativity.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan with the biggest amount of influence because I have the magic hat.
That's right.
The lucky Christmas hat.
We only get to the Super Bowl if someone in our family wears the hat on Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Do you not believe me?
I just need to see some of that Christmas magic for myself. Okay, that's pretty good. You didn't have a hat.
No, but we were talking about it.
I think all of us felt the responsibility of doing something fun and epic and that felt authentic to that city and that team.
Guys, we kind of need the field now.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
And that's a wrap on your entertainment break. Now back to Emily with the news.
Thanks, Jillian. Turning back to the news, the Kentucky Association of Health has made a large donation on Monday, and it's one that many children could benefit from. The money will help provide books to students through an initiative of country music star Dolly Parton. Lucy Cole has more from Lexington.
Wait, better question. Who knows what a check is?
$100,000 was donated to provide Kentucky children with books through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Through grant opportunities, the association presented the check that will help print and send books all across the state to help children start their own at-home libraries. On average, it costs $2.60 to print and mail each book each month. Local libraries provide that funding so that the program remains free for parents. That's why a portion of this funding will be used to specifically support programs in Lexington and Louisville by matching a grant for up to $10,000 that's raised just ahead of Giving Tuesday. First Lady Brittany Bashir presented the check alongside representatives with the Imagination Library and the Kentucky Association of Health Plans in front of a crowd of its recipients.
That check that we got to help give today, make sure that all those families in Kentucky continue to have that privilege of getting that free book from Dolly Parton.
Dolly Parton's dream is to put a book in the hands of every child, and we're just so grateful to the Kentucky Association of Health Plans for making that possible.
If you want to be a part of helping Kentucky children, donations can be made at FayetteFoundation.org. And even Santa Claus is getting an updated driver's license this holiday season. After years of delays, the federal government is requiring everyone's state-issued driver's license be compliant with Real ID rules beginning next year. But Santa wasn't taking any chances this holiday season. He stopped by the Department of Motor Vehicles in Portland, Oregon on Wednesday, and he wanted to be extra sure not to run into any problems delivering presents to boys and girls.
The reason is because I do want to be able to travel throughout the United States and check on the naughty boys and girls and the good boys and girls.
This is a great time of year to think about traveling next
next Christmas, next Thanksgiving, next summer, kids going on spring break. You need to be thinking about it now.
The deadline for Real ID compliance is May 7th of 2025. After that date, domestic airlines and federal facilities will not accept older licenses as valid identification. And a 9-year-old Ohio girl who was hit and dragged by a drunk driver is sharing her story after being released from the hospital. Jeffrey Atkinson is facing drunk driving and vehicular assault charges in the July incident, as Taylor Robinson reports.
I just want to say him that I hope the Lord forgives him for what he's done to me.
The crash happened in July. Ashley's leg injuries were so bad, they had to amputate her leg. Since then, Ashley hasn't been back to school.
They did bring me a computer and a lot of books so I could keep learning.
But it's not the same as being at school.
I like to go to gym and play a game called Shark and Minnows.
She remembers the night the crash happened well.
I remember seeing my leg bleeding a lot, and I remember a police that had red hair.
And the woman that ran into the street and moved Ashley out of the road.
And I'm very grateful for her, and I want to know her much better.
She's also very grateful for the team of hospital staff that helped her. On days like Giving Tuesday, Ashley hopes people consider helping out a children's hospital.
What we really want people to know is that every donation, no matter what size, how big or how small, really makes a real impact for kids at the hospital.
Ashley recently broke a bone in the leg that was amputated and was back at the ER. She had plans to get a prosthetic leg around Christmas time, but it's unclear now when that will happen. And now let's hear from Ben about what's coming up in sports.
Thanks, Emily. When we come back, I'll have the news on NKU basketball, a suspension in the NFL, and more.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Houston Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair was given a 3-game suspension without pay for a late hit. The hit was on Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence during Sunday's game. Lawrence was hit in the head by Al-Shaair as the Jags QB was sliding to the ground after a 6-yard run. The NFL announced Tuesday it's suspending Al-Shaair for repeated violations of rules intended to protect the health and safety of players and promote sportsmanship. In a letter to Al-Shaair, the league called the hit unacceptable and a serious violation of playing rules. Under the NFL's collective bargaining agreements, Al-Shaair can appeal the suspension. The head coach of the Texans defended Al-Shaair Monday, saying the team stands behind him and there tends to be an overreaction when someone gets hurt. Al-Shaair issued an apology to Lawrence Monday while also calling out racist and Islamic abuse he has received since he said he didn't see him sliding until it was too late. The NKU women's basketball team was in action over the weekend for the Battle of the Bluegrass against Eastern Kentucky, losing 84-75. Grad transfer Hallie Adoyu led the Norse, scoring 21 points, going 8 for 16 on the floor. With this loss, the Norse extend their losing streak to 5 and look to bounce back as they return to Truist Arena, taking on the Youngstown State Penguins this Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. on ESPN+. We had another Bluegrass battle at Truist Arena over the weekend as the NKU men's basketball team took on Bellarmine, winning 86-70. 3 players had a big night as senior guard Trey Robinson led the North, scoring 24 points. Sam Vinton scored 18 points, and sophomore guard Randall Pettis Jr. scored a career-high 20 points. Despite their loss to Akron on Tuesday, senior guard Sam Vinton surpasses 1,000 career points in his Norse career. With 10 minutes left in the first half, he knocked down a three-pointer to become the newest member of the 1,000-point club at NKU. Vincent finished the night scoring a total of 11 points. The Norse will kick off Horizon League play in Indianapolis, taking on the IU Indy Jaguars this Saturday, starting at 2 p.m. on ESPN+. The Cincinnati Bengals playoff chances continue to decrease as they took another tough loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend, falling to 4-8 on the season. Linebacker Logan Wilson underwent a surgical cleanup procedure on his knee Thursday morning and is now expected to miss the rest of the season. The Bengals will travel to Arlington, Texas to take on the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football, with coverage starting at 8:15.
Thank you, Ben. On NKU's campus, an unexpected aquatic visitor stopped by the Student Union Ballroom earlier this week. The Northerner was at the event, which was hosted by the NKU Scuba Club. A special ocean animal found its way onto NKU's campus Tuesday afternoon as part of a presentation by the Newport Aquarium's Wave Foundation.
They had a yellow stingray named Stevie, one of their ambassador animals here. They talked all about stingrays and some of their conservation and some of the issues that are currently facing them, and a lot about their biology and roles in ecosystems.
So Stevie is the stingray that we brought. She is a yellow stingray. She has been with us for several years now. She's really good at eating shellfish and crab. Her favorite food is actually shrimp. That's what we feed her at the aquarium.
The event was hosted by the university's Scuba Club after they had success with a similar animal presentation last year.
This kind of stemmed from last year. We got sharks on campus through the Wave Foundation. We've gotten in touch with the Newport Aquarium. I used to work there and I currently volunteer there, so I already knew how it all was set up that way.
I like ocean animals. That's kind of what I'm trying to go into. I also work at the aquarium and volunteer with them, so I kind of wanted to check out, see what they had.
Really, the goal is to just connect people with them and get them curious and get them excited about helping them in the wild. I hope that it was, one, fun little stress relief just to see an animal on campus, if that's not the norm. I also hope that students were able to learn about different conservation practices, especially with stingrays. Yellow stingrays specifically are not listed on the IUCN Red List as endangered, but several stingray species are under threat or even near endangered. A lot of the efforts involve stopping overfishing, a lot of times focusing on local changes here. So the biggest thing that we can do is collective action. The whole goal is getting everyone to kind of add up and do a lot more collective action over time.
Clark said the Scuba Club will continue to focus on getting members scuba certified, as well as teaching students about environmental conservation. And it's time for final exams for students at NKU. Our Miles Sauer spoke with students about how they are preparing and de-stressing for finals week.
With exams right around the corner, some students shared their thoughts on how they de-stressed during the exam week.
It's kind of hard with final exams, but I just try to space stuff out as much as I can, so I'm only focusing on one or two things. If I let everything get too close together, it can get really stressful, so I just try and make sure that I'm staying ahead of stuff, studying for whatever the earliest exam is first, and just stretching things out makes it a lot easier.
Honestly, just trying to give myself time to decompress in between study sessions and really just kind of take my mind off school for a minute.
Usually when I'm studying, I break it up into smaller segments so that I'm not doing it all at once. But other than that, probably just listening to music, going out on a walk.
I don't know, just taking my time. I always spend time with friends and family and stuff like that, and just try to keep my mind off of it while just keeping the importance of, that I need to get a good grade, but also that, it is what it is, whatever I get in the end.
The students also shared their thoughts on whether starting the fall semester 2 weeks earlier would be beneficial, allowing the semester to wrap up by Thanksgiving break.
I don't know if starting earlier would change the amount. I feel like it would just kind of shift the amount of stress if we started earlier and then ended at Thanksgiving. I don't think it would really change much for me, but I don't hate the idea.
I would like getting out before Thanksgiving because then I would have more time. I wouldn't have to work as much overtime during Christmas, which would be nice because I work a lot over breaks, so I would have more time to actually have a break.
I think it would be more stressful if it ended earlier just because I think this extra time after Thanksgiving and that little bit to decompress before finals is really helpful.
I would say more stressful. Honestly, I think we all needed Thanksgiving break just to, again, get our mind off school and classes and stop worrying about getting assignments in on time and make sure they're fully detailed as possible. It really was it was good for everybody, I feel like.
And in a sweet and spicy twist, basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal is teaming up with Pepsi to launch a new holiday flavor. Shaq is front and center in an ad for Pepsi's new Zero Sugar Gingerbread. In a video inspired by cooking shows, Shaq dons an apron and uses the new drink to whip up a gingerbread masterpiece. The holiday-themed drink is only around for a limited time, and you can try it for free. Visit Pepsi.com or visit Pepsi's TikTok page to sign up for a free can. The promotion runs through December 11th. It's a New York City holiday tradition, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. The tree was lit Wednesday night for the 2024 holiday season with more than 50,000 LED lights bringing the holiday spirit to the Big Apple. The tree lighting aired live on NBC with Kelly Clarkson hosting the show leading up to the ceremony. This year's tree is a Norway spruce from Massachusetts, standing at 74 feet tall and weighing in at an estimated 11 tons. And that's a wrap on this week's Northerner World Report. Remember to follow us on Instagram and X at Northerner Media. Thank you for spending your time with us and stay warm out there.